Greetings and blessed day to you once again, people of God. It's the Revelator once again. And hoping the grace and the mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ is with you until the end of time. We meet once again in the conference representing the resistance, the conference representing the movement of God, the system that represents the rebellious servants of God, those ordained to fight against the systems, those raised to challenge systems, those raised to turn against evil systems. And it can be none other than the resistance. Earlier on, I gave you the introduction, the preface of the resistance, and I explained the resistance not just as a bold stance, but a system, a movement which comprises of a collective number of people. But in each and every system of resistance, there is the leader of the resistance. Now, welcome to the second edition, the part 2 segment of the resistance, which is the vengeance of God. And for us to understand more on this presentation series and the second segment, let us get into scriptures. In the book of Judges chapter 6 verse 1, and it reads, "And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Midian for 7 years. The children of the Lord have sinned against the Lord, and all that the Lord has to do now is deliver them into the hand of the Midian." When the children of God sin, God is left with no choice but to deliver them in the hand of the enemy, so that they may learn why God had earlier delivered them from the same hand of the enemy. And the hand of the Midian prevailed against Israel, and because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are into the mountains and caves, strongholds. And so it was when Israel had sown that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites and the children of the east, they came up against them. What it means is that the Israelites were now in bondage. They were now under subjection. And whilst they were under subjection, they remained enslaved by the system of the Midianites. And they encamped against them and destroyed the increase of the earth till they all came unto Gaza and left no sustenance for Israel, neither sheep nor oxen nor ass, for they came up with their cake and their tents, and they came up as grasshoppers for multitudes. The scripture says they came up as grasshoppers, meaning that they came up in their thousands and waited for that opportunity, waited for that season when the Israelites would now be yielding their harvest, and all they did was come and collect. For they both had their camels were without number, which cannot be counted, and they entered into the land of the Israelites to destroy it. And Israel, because of this, was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites. And the children of God, the children of Israel, cried unto the Lord. There comes a time when the children of the Lord will cry unto the Lord. They will plead unto the Lord. They will pray unto the Lord. And it came to pass when the children of Israel had cried greatly unto the Lord because of the Midianites, that the Lord sent them a prophet. When the Lord sent them a prophet, what the Lord was now doing was that he was now introducing a message. When the Lord sent them a servant, which was a prophet, what the Lord was now doing was that he was now giving them a master plan. A master plan begins by being given a messenger who is the word of the Lord. Whatever crisis a nation has, it begins with being addressed through one that has got a message from the Lord. And the Lord has sent a prophet unto the children of Israel. We said unto them, thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, I brought you out of Egypt, and brought you forth out of the houses of bondage, and I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand that oppressed you, and drove your enemy out of your presence. And I said unto you, I'm the Lord your God, fear not any other gods. Fear not the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell, but you have not obeyed my voice. And there came an angel of the Lord after the prophet. The protocol is simple. After sending a messenger, the Lord then sent an angel. The Lord did not send an angel and then sent a prophet. The Lord rather sent a prophet. He sent a messenger. After sending a messenger, he then sent an angel. And after sending an angel, the Lord then raised a man. Listen to me, child of God. God has sent an angel. God has sent a prophet. But after sending these two categories of spiritual offices, these two spiritual capacities, God does not send an angel to do the work that is supposed to be done by the resistance. God does not send the prophet to do the work that is done by the resistance, but God sends another man that is specifically designed, that is specifically anointed to do that job of the resistance. And there is a man that was sent as the leader of the resistance, and his name was Gideon. Gideon is sent to lead the resistance. But first the Lord sends a prophet, and then he sends an angel of the Lord. And the angel of the Lord came and sat under the oak which was in Ophrah, that pertained unto Joash the father of Gideon. And Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. What surprises me is that the leader of the resistance, the one that is the leader of the resistance, the one that is about to be anointed to lead this massive resistance, is the one that is also hiding for the Midian. Why? Because he does not know the ability, he does not know the strength, he does not know the power that he has been given. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said, the Lord is with you, mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, oh my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why has this befallen us? Why has this evil fallen us? And where are all his miracles? Gideon wants to understand, if I am the leader of the resistance, Gideon wants to understand, if I am to lead a revolt against the devil, if I am to lead any whatsoever resistance, what I need to understand is, where are the miracles? Gideon is tired of the pastors, the prophets, the evangelists, the apostles that merely speak and they don't do anything. They don't demonstrate the power of God. Gideon wants to understand, where are the miracles of God? Where are the demonstrations of power? Where are the ascension dimensions? Where are the teleportations? Where are the angelic visitations? Where are the miracles? That is what Gideon wants to understand. Gideon, you are supposed to lead a resistance. And this resistance that you're supposed to lead, Gideon, you are going to lead this resistance not with many men, but before you do that, there are things that you need to understand. You need to be given an assignment through the angel of the Lord. And Gideon says, did not the Lord bring us out of Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. And the Lord looked upon him and said, go in this thy mighty. When the Lord said, go in this thy mighty, what the Lord is saying, you are already a man that has been empowered. Before you were even born, Gideon, you are given this ability. This generation has been waiting for you to come and lead the resistance. Gideon, take this mantle. This mantle belongs to you. This is the reason why you were born, to come and lead the resistance. And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I serve Israel? Behold, my family is poor, and I am the least in my father's house. Gideon, why are you explaining about the poverty in your family? Gideon, why are you explaining about the economic hardships of a nation? Gideon, why are you explaining about your weaknesses? You have already been told, go in this thy mighty. You have already been told that you are supposed to lead a mass movement. You are supposed to lead a protest. You are supposed to lead a resistance. But you are talking about the weaknesses that are inside your flesh. Gideon, you are the leader of the resistance. And as the leader of the resistance, you are not supposed to fail. And the Lord said unto him, surely I'll be with you, and you shall smite the Midianites as one man. Child of God, when I read this part, I was shocked. The part that says, you shall smite the Midianites as one man, not as a bunch of fools, not by trying to beg people, not by trying to bootlick people, but you shall smite the Midianites as one man. How is that possible? It means even if Gideon is going to gather a few men, those men must never think that they played a hand. They must understand that Gideon has smite the Midianites as one man. God is creating an army, but he does not need many men. God is creating a mass movement, but he does not need many men. God is creating a resistance. God is building a resistance. God is starting a resistance, but he does not need many men. God is starting a movement. God is starting a rebellious system that represents the kingdom of light that is going to war against the kingdom of darkness. Way before the war at Armageddon. But this army, this resistance needs one man of valor, and that man is Gideon. That one man is the Revelator. And he said unto him, if now I have found grace in thy sight, if now I have found favor in your sight, then Gideon says, show me a sign that you talk to me. Gideon does not want to engage into any assignment that is deadly without getting proof that it is really God that sent him. Gideon understands that there are pastors that have been sent, prophets, evangelists that have been sent to preach the gospel, and they thought that they were called, but they were not, only to realize when trouble befalls them. Gideon wants to understand, if God has truly sent me, if God has truly assigned me, then the same God must give me a sign. I'm not talking about a sign through scriptures. I'm not talking about a sign through just the word, but a visible sign that proves that the Lord showed me. If I'm supposed to lead the resistance, if I'm supposed to be the leader of the resistance, if I'm supposed to represent the vengeance of God and fight against the Midianites and smite the Midianites as one man, then the same God must give me a sign. Child of God, I've seen many that are working for God, but there is no sign. I've seen many that are working for God, but there is no miracle. I've seen many that are giving themselves titles, but there is not even a single sign that proves that they work for God, that proves that they represent God. But God is going to raise an army, which is called the resistance. And the resistance is prepared to fight against the rebellion of the devil, against the children of Belial, against the heathens, against the demons, against the kingdom of darkness, against Lucifer and his command. Then Gideon says, depart not hence, I pray they will come unto you and bring forth my present. Gideon understands that if you come in the presence of anything that is coming from above, you need to present a present to trigger and to provoke the presence of God. Gideon says, show me a sign that it is God that is speaking unto you. But before you show me the sign, I'm going to get my gift so that I can provoke that sign. Gideon understands that if you present a gift, if you present a package, if you present something in the house of the Lord, there will be a sign that you will get provoked. And Gideon came and said it, and said, I'll tell you, and come back here again. And Gideon went in and made a kid ready and unleavened cakes of earth and floured the flesh. He put it in a basket and put the broth in a pot and brought it out under the oak and presented it. And the angel of the Lord said unto him, take the flesh and the unleavened cakes and lay them upon these rocks and pour out the broth. And he did so. The angel of the Lord then put forth the end of his staff, the end of his rod that was in the hand, and touched the flesh and unleavened cakes, and rose up, and the fire consumed the offering. When the fire consumed the offering, Gideon was shocked, and Gideon in chapter 6 verse 22 perceived that this was only the angel of the Lord. And Gideon said, alas, O Lord, for because I've seen an angel of the Lord face to face, I shall surely die. Gideon has received a sign, but the sign that has been given is the sign that proves that whatever visitation that he came across here is a visitation that is coming from above. Visitations that are coming from above, they must be represented by fire. And the Lord said unto him, peace be unto you, fear not, you shall not die. Then Gideon built an altar there unto the Lord and called it Jehovah Shalom. And it is called Jehovah Shalom up until this very day. And this altar that has now been defined as Jehovah Shalom, it is the altar that is now representing the Lord. But Gideon, you still have an assignment. Your assignment is not yet over. You still need to be given empowerment. You already have this might that you have been given of encountering the angel of the Lord. And you have also built an altar of the Lord, and you have called it Jehovah Shalom. Now, take thy father's young bullock, even the second bullock of 7 years old, and throw down the altar of Baal that the father has built, and cut down the grove that is by it, and built an altar unto the Lord. Gideon then took 10 men. 10 men. He only took 10 men, not 10 useless disciples. He took 10 useful disciples of his servants and did as the Lord had said. And it was so because he feared his father's household. And they went by night, and he rose up earlier and destroyed the altars of Baal, and all the altars of Baal were cast down. Gideon's resistance, Gideon as the leader of the resistance, begins by destroying altars. There is nothing you can do without destroying altars. If you have not destroyed altars that represent your family, if you have not destroyed altars that represent systems of the devil, if you have not resisted altars that represent the devil, if you have not avenged by destroying altars, if the vengeance of God has not been made manifest by destroying altars, there is nothing that can get established. And after those whose altars of Baal had been destroyed woke up in the morning and they saw the altars of Baal destroyed, they said, who has done this? And when it came to light that it was Gideon who had done this, Joash, who was the father of Gideon, stood in the gap. When they were asking, when they were protesting, bring out your son so that we may kill him. Bring out your son Gideon. Why? Because he has destroyed our altars. And Joash stood against them and said, will you plead for Baal? Will you fight for Baal? If Baal is God, let him plead for himself. Child of God, there comes a time, if you are serving a true God, that you must sit back, relax, and wait for your God to fight the wars. There's a time, if you are really serving the God of resistance, the God of the resistance, the God who is avenging, the vengeance of the Lord is being represented by a living God. That God must stand for you. Therefore, on that day, he called him Jerubbaal, saying, let Baal plead against him, because he has thrown down his altar. Then all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of East were gathered together and went over and pitched in the valley of Jezreel. But the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet, being made ready for the war, being made ready for the resistance, the mass resistance. And Gideon said unto God, if you are going to save Israel by my hand, behold, I'll give you another test. He was not testing the Lord, but he wanted assurance. Like I said, when you are serving the Lord, you need to be assured of who you are working for. Are you working for a God that is suicidal, or you are working for a God that is truly reinforcement? Are you working for a God that is supportive? Are you working for a God who flees away when trouble comes? Gideon wants to know, if you are a God that represents me, I'll put a wool on the floor. If Jew will be on that fleece, then it's assured that you are going to stand by me as I fight and deliver Israel. And it was so that the next early morning, Jew was on the fleece, and Gideon knew that the Lord had answered him through a sign. And Gideon further said unto the Lord, let not your anger be against me. Again, I want the Jew to be right round the fleece. What it means is that if I find this miracle, this sign coming to pass, it means you have assured me that I'll deliver beyond just Israel. And it was so again that when Gideon woke up in the morning, Jew was all over the ground, right around the fleece. Child of God, when you have developed a relationship with God, you can ask for anything from God and He'll make it happen. And Gideon was prepared for army with men, very few men that Gideon had. And the trumpet was blown, and Gideon led the resistance of God and dethroned the Midianites. Child of God, I'm here representing the leader of the resistance, the mass movement, the generation of God, representing the vengeance of God in the name of Jesus.